What is up, SMR people? We're back. It's your boy Butters. Today, our Motocast is going to be a doubleheader. We're covering Smec Supermotos round 1 and 2 of the 2023 season. Today, we bring on the 2023 SMEC1 250 champ of Steve Ingram. What's up, Steve?
How's it going, guys?
And then we got the man behind the scenes of Smec Supermoto, putting on the best Supermoto races in the country, Jay Kliger. What's up, Jay?
What's up, boys? How are you?
Doing good. And then today we don't have our usual boy Simpy with us. He has a girlfriend now, and I guess things are more important for him. But we got our guy Johnnybang doing all the work behind the scenes, making these things happen.
What's up, guys?
All right, guys, so this race, we're at VIR, and this track looks bitchin'. I want to ride this track so bad.
What's stopping you?
Good question. Mainly travel. Oh,
This is Virginia.
I'm missing a key character we got tonight. So because Simpy's out, we brought in our East Coast affiliate of Jake LaForge, the man, the myth, the legend himself. What's up, Jakey?
What's going on?
My bad, I got too excited.
Jake on as much as we can now, as kind of like a partner in all this, giving him as much responsibility as he wants. Just go ham, Jake.
Uh-oh. You know, I don't know about that.
I'm gonna shift some weight.
Yeah, so VIR looks like, and Steve, you're the one behind the dirt section builds on a lot of pretty much all the East Coast tracks, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So I love the way you guys always have really well prepped dirt sections. Stuff that's something that it's something that I think is often overlooked, the amount of time and effort that has to go into those and stuff, and maybe why you don't see as many good quality stuff on the West Coast. So I think it's kind of an afterthought sometimes.
Yeah, and every time we go to, even if we return to the same track, we change it every time we're there. So it's always fresh and something new for everybody. So it's not the same track pretty much every time we go. It's different every time we show up there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it almost has like an arena cross vibe, rather than like a hard packed motocross vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that intro to the dirt section here. Like you jump, like you run into the trees and stuff. It's got to be a cool. Does it get technical on that track with the shadows though? Sometimes with that.
Not too bad. We have to trim the trees a little bit with our helmet visors though.
So for this one, for 2023, Stevie, what was your mindset going into this year? Were you looking to pretty much chase the title? Because you have been runner-up for this title a handful of times, right?
Yeah, I won it once, I think back in 2019, and then ever since then I've been runner-up every year until this year. So I was
Runner-up
focused
to
going
who?
into this year to Charlie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Buff Daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty stiff competition.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I was going into it ready to go, ready to battle. I was excited. That's for sure.
What are you planning on running 250 again next year?
Yeah, so my plan right now is to defend the title, and also the plan is probably to pick up a 450 and try to go into that a little bit too, and run a little double duty this year to set myself up for the following year to go to the 450s.
You're gonna be a busy man.
Busy man.
That's the plan. We'll see if it pulls through, but that's the plan as of now.
It's hard to do two classes. You always
For
lean
sure.
on one, you know.
For sure, yeah. That's why the 250 will be my main focus, and the 450 will be pretty much get the feet wet.
Good idea.
All right, so for this one, we had a little bit of a difference in camera angles, where Stevie, your GoPro happened to be on a time lapse this first moto, so that's a little bit different, but we still get a lot across through it.
Yeah, Eugene always getting the start. That's for sure.
Yeah, so this year you had Eugene and yourself as definitely the guys that kind of came out and really set the pace in the lights class and stuff. So
yeah,
you guys,
I wanted to come out strong, and my plan was to always qualify in front of everybody and set tone for the weekend on top, because I've been a bad qualifier, so that was like one of the main goals of this year.
yeah,
Coming off
Man,
the asphalt to the dirt looks fast. I feel like it can be fast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it
going
has,
pretty quick.
it has like a rise in the asphalt, so you come up over a hill coming into it. So on the asphalt, you come up and you're kind of backing it in as you come up over the hill. It's actually pretty cool. And then you can just power out before you jump on the dirt. You should be straight up and down, and then you're powering through it, and you're almost wide open going in. It's pretty sick.
I would say that the entrance is pretty close to how Shawano is a little bit, right? So you guys are coming up the hill, you're dropping down a little bit as this,
does your front end kind of fall away like how it does in Shauna, where you got to be careful on how much trail braking you're doing?
A little
I
bit.
don't think. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Jake.
I don't. It's not. You're not going fast enough, but you can definitely feel like the rear end kick out a little bit softer just because it's lifting up, coming over the crest. But like right here, you can see.
Eugene did not want to let you have it there.
He's really wide at riding, so it's like you got to be patient when you try to go for it, because he rides wide for sure, so it gets you a little timid for a little bit. But also,
How is it
holds like decent moisture going into that first turn, so like there's usually pretty good traction here.
Because they like kind of in the shadows there. Yeah, the ruts look nice, dude. Like I'm so jealous of watching this dirt section. And be like, man, I want to ride it.
Yeah, that's the best thing we got is our dirt over here is so nice. So when Steve does do the dirt section, he's got really good dirt to work with. Unlike you guys over in the West Coast, you guys got no moisture in your dirt.
Yeah. Yeah, but then us West Coast guys don't know what to do when ruts form,
Right.
We're good at sliding, that's about it.
Keeping that traction.
Are you kind of jumping that curb going into that corner, Steve, or is that just kind of
I
the
was
lean angle
testing
made
it
it look
to
like
see
you're
because I was pretty much going everywhere he wasn't, trying to like find
Yeah.
a different route and not be right behind him. So if he did up, I would run into the back of him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
See, like there, like I came in a little hot and I was like, oh boy,
Yeah, bank off the berm. How
So
are
Steve,
you
what-
two with each other in practice? Do you guys kind of avoid each other, or?
Yeah, we definitely he'll pull out in front of me and then he'll slow up and want me to go, and I'll want him to go, and
You're like,
I'll go a little slower than I probably would normally.
Little cat and
Or
mouse.
don't hit certain jumps a certain way.
you got a little kick in the whoops there. Yeah, Jake, you know how it is. There's always like mind games in practice, and it's like until a race where you have to be like racing each other that you really. It's like you try to play mind games how to get in the guy's head in practice, but then you don't want the guy sitting on you and seeing your lines either. So then it's not until a race that like you actually have to do it,
Right, like in practice, you're usually not showing everything you got, like Steve said. So most of the time when I'm practicing, I try not to go as fast as possible. I try to find out certain things on the track, and then finally, put them all together during the race. And usually, it helps out a little bit, not showing my cards. But
For sure.
I don't know how you do it.
I'm like hit or miss. It depends. Sometimes it's like if I come off and I wasn't going very fast, then you can just be like, throw excuses out there like, oh,
You
I'm
almost
just
tell yourself.
LinkedIn stuff.
Yeah. I'm just trying it out.
Yeah. And if you're doing good, you're like, I was holding back, bro. Like I was just chilling. Like those were cruiser laps, But you're like full send.
Well, like I mean, I felt like I was frustrated because like I said, he's hard to get around. and like he's just quick enough to like just be there, you know. So like I felt like I was definitely faster in a lot of sections. Like even through like the S turn coming up, I would
Yep.
catch right to his back tire. But like you just, it's kind of a tight track. So like you gotta, when you go to make fast, you gotta make it stick. That's for sure.
Yeah, that previous lap you guys did was your fastest lap of the moto, where you guys were both down in the 113s, which was a full 3 seconds faster than anyone else on the track.
Yeah.
So you guys are just like yarding everybody.
And like I felt really good. Like I wasn't stiff, I was riding loose, so like I wasn't like worried. Like I knew I could stay with him just fine and was comfortable. So like it was.
Did you know you had it in the back pocket for this like last lap? Because you could tell you're like being timid, like you're clearly faster than him, but you're not making like outrageous maneuvers.
Timid's the right word. I think he's just trying to feel out where he can fully get that wheel in, but not show that he's gonna go there.
Did you think you were saving it for the last lap so you didn't have to get it done?
Yeah, I was definitely lap counting in my head for sure. I mean, I try to be pretty nice when I do pass people. I'm not like a rough rider or anything like that. So like, I knew I had a little bit of time on my hands. So I was like, all right, let's still let him get a little tired, and then we'll make a push at the end and go for it.
How is this dirt and tarmac when you get back to it? Is it pretty slick, or is it one of those where you got a good amount of traction on the?
I've never had a problem with traction here coming off.
Okay.
Not where like I've been like worried to lean it in or anything.
Yeah, like some tracks, you gotta intentionally spin it up just to get the dirt off your tires as quick as possible. And other tracks, it's like not a big deal.
Yeah.
I feel like Shawana is one of those tracks that you have to get your dirt off pretty quick.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think all of us have probably fallen in that second corner after you get back on the asphalt in Shawano.
Yeah.
That place looks beautiful. Where are you out of, Stevie?
New Hampton, New York. So like over by pretty much by OBRP's track. I'm about 10 minutes away from there.
Okay.
How long you been doing Supermoto?
About 8 years. Coming up on 8 years. 7, 8 years.
Did you race MX or anything like that beforehand?
Yeah, I did a lot of motocross and then some of the arena cross series for a while. So that was fun, but I got really hurt, so I kind of had to take a step back and yeah. So the local motorcycle shop, they were running at OVRP like a 4-hour endurance on Supermotos, and joined them, and then I was pretty much hooked on it for sure after that. And it was like a slightly safer version of motocross, like where I could still get the fix in, but like not be as getting hurt as much as I was.
Yeah.
How old were you when you started riding?
Like I didn't like race at a young age, but I always rode like because I have a bunch of property at my house, so like we always had 4-wheelers and dirt bikes and snowmobiles, and so I was always like on something with a motor for a long time. But not racing until like I was like maybe like 12 or 13, like up in there, like heavily into like racing.
Yeah.
And how old are you now?
Just to 28.
Young buck.
Oh yeah.
You're just reaching your prime, dude.
Yeah.
And how old? What's Eugene's older? Like,
yeah, he's a little bit older.
A little older than me.
I'm not exactly sure how old he actually is.
I want to say like mid-30s. But he might be
somewhere in there, I think.
What I like about you and him is you guys always have like clean-looking bikes and clean-looking kits, and you make sure everything looks nice.
And they're always battling.
Yeah. Always. Always.
It always makes for a great race to watch, though. Like I always make sure to watch the 250 race as much as I can. You know, sometimes we do run together, but
yeah. Who do you think's gotten the best of that battle more often, Steve?
I've always had more speed, but I just seem to have some bad luck on my side sometimes. I think we're about 50-50 on it though. Like, I think I've been a faster rider at a lot of the points, but just like I said, bad luck. He always gets the start. He's got some power underneath him, so he's always got the start. So it's always for me chasing.
Yeah. So is it about this point in the race where you've decided where you're going to try to make a move, or are you still kind of?
I knew the whole race where I was probably going to make the move. There was like 2 or 3 spots that I thought I could make it, where he would like check up a little extra, and I knew like, all right, I can send it in a little harder. So I had it like in my mind. So like I kind of held up in the middle of the race, and then like once like Fred, I was lap counting in my head. I was like, all right, we're about ready. 3-4 laps to go. Let's get going, and that's when I caught back up to him and put the pressure on and see if we can get around him.
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys are starting to catch up to the vet class guys out there.
Yeah.
Lap them.
Yeah.
That's always fun when you're catching lappers. Like when you're in the battle, you're like, oh no, this is either going to work out really well or really bad.
Yeah, it's good for the guy in second for sure, because I can see like what's going to happen up ahead, and don't really see leaders yet coming. So it's like, all right, let's see if we can get pick or something.
For sure. What tires you guys on? Metzler's?
I'm running a Michelin front, Metzler rear.
Okay.
Word on the street that it's a hot setup.
I haven't run a Michelin in a bunch of years now. I just love the Metzler so much that it's hard for me to like be like, oh, I want to try something else. So because it's just like every time I tried a Dunlop last year and I hated it, and I went back to the Metzler and I was like, oh my god, this is so good.
On your bike, what's on it? What kind of build did you go with?
My motor's all stock, just slipper clutch and 16.5 front and big brake and butter clamps are on it. That's it.
I like it.
What's your favorite track you guys race at?
Who was that question for?
Shawano is like, I don't know, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, Shawano's definitely scenic and super freaking cool.
I have a long time love with Tucson, but I think it's just because it was, one of my first Supermoto races.
What about you, Jay? Since you got some world travel behind you, like, what's your favorite track to ride Supermoto on?
Overall?
Yeah.
Like,
is it in America or is it in Europe?
I mean, I have my favorites both. I mean, Shawano's when I do get an opportunity to ride. Shawano is.
Here it comes.
Look at that. Nice. Shawano is just it's an unbelievable track to ride. I like OVRP. It's local, and we get to do what we want with the dirt, which helps me train because that's one of my biggest weaknesses as a rider is the dirt. And in Europe, I've ridden. My first experience was Castelletto, Italy. That was amazing. And then there was a track in the Spanish Championship called De la Riviera, which was so fast. I like faster tracks versus tighter technical stuff. It suits me a little bit better as my comfort level. But this track that they no longer ride there, man, it was unbelievable.
That's sick. They got some cool stuff on there. Yeah, Stevie, this last lap, you dipped back into the 113s again. So you only did 2 113s this moto, but it was this lap, and lap 3 that you did 113s. And Eugene dropped to a 116 this last lap.
What about you, Jake?
Favorite track?
My favorite track, I like Shawano, but I'd probably have to say I like Grand Junction. I think Grand Junction was fun.
That is a very brutal track to make a pass on, though.
Right, but it was technical enough where it's like you could, like, it was fast and technical, so it made it a good racing.
Shout out to our boy Sam Lackus for getting on the podium. I think that might have been one of Sam's first podiums in the lights class. Yeah, Grand Junction, that's a track that me and Johnny have both ridden, like RSR stomping grounds.
Just the elevation, I mean, the atmosphere around the place too is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, those bluffs, stuff surrounding it.
Yeah. But you gotta come try VIR. VIR is a pretty fun track.
Yeah, what would you say is your favorite, like, if we were to take Shawano out of it for the Smec series, what's your favorite venue?
I like Lafayette, New York.
Okay.
It's kind of tighter than this track, and not much of a dirt section, but fun. I don't know.
For me as a rider, Lafayette, the entrance into the dirt, that section, the entrance, and all the way up to the back berm is the funnest track that I've like. It's that section, because you come into the dirt section so fast. You're
Come in like
almost
third gear.
end, because it's a little lip, and it sends you up to a long double. Yeah, it's so fun.
That sounds awesome.
Kind of like Grand Junction. You just come off the asphalt so fast.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
How long have you had Fred as race director for Smec now?
I want to say that this is going to be year 3, I believe.
Yeah, correct. It'll be year 3.
I love that dude. He's so funny.
It's man, I can't thank him and Ducky enough. Adding him on to the team has been amazing.
Damn, Stevie, you let Kinsey get you too?
I got a horrible start. And I was so frustrated right here too, because I was like watch him just creeping away.
Yeah. Because it's nice to win that first moto, but then you got to back it up, because like if you don't back it up in the second moto, then the overall's gone.
Yeah, that's why I just went under Kinsey right there. It's like, all right, I gotta go.
That was nice.
Just ran it in deep.
Brandon's been doing it for a long time now too.
It's almost better to get second in the first one and go for the win on the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely makes you not have to feel like you're having to defend something.
Yeah. And like, I know that I gotta win. Like, so that's like the worst part.
Yeah, and then Eugene knows that he has to win, so he's in like a position where he knows if he lets you by, it's over too. So
yeah, and we've raced each other for so long that like we both know each other's habits and where we're gonna go, and so it's for sure get around each other.
yeah, it's kind of like how it is with racing Shane. You have to beat Shane off the start, or else like it's the chance of you passing Shane, it's not good. Plus he's fast as shit.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Dude, I miss riding 250s.
I do
Jake,
too.
you did some 250 Smec races.
Yeah, I rode I had a 250 Cowie. It didn't have anything. It was just stock front brake and stuff. But I like the power delivery, especially for like a track like VIR. I feel like it's a perfect 250 track.
Yeah. I feel like it does so much for helping you carry momentum and teaching momentum. I wish more guys would look at the lights class more seriously. I think like some guys, when they go to jump from amateur to pro, the jump is so huge that like it's kind of scary to look at going to the 450 class. But then I feel like a lot of guys don't want to get a 250 when it is such a great stepping stone, that next tier to go when you are jumping from the amateur class to the pro class. Like the lights class should be that next step and stuff. And I think some guys are scared to get a 250 because they want the fast bike, they want the 450. But a 250 will teach you so much. It will help you grow so much as far as like carrying corner speed, learning how to brake late, and the chassis aren't near as important on how you have them set up because the motor doesn't have the inertia to get them all out of whack.
Right. Well, the torque.
Yeah. But I'm biased. I'm like anti 450. I only race 450 because I have to.
Yeah, make a 350.
I did make a 350 and I got my ass kicked.
Did that ditch start going away towards the end of the day, or was it just always sketchy?
It's always like that. There's like a drain pipe under there that we're not allowed to like do anything with, so it's just like that's the exit.
Do you ever yell at people, Stevie, when you're on them in the race, or do you just
No.
rev?
Just rev. I'm not a talker under the helmet. I'm like so quiet. I've yelled at like lappers before, like coming up on people like to go past. I've screamed like in corners, but like I've never like racing units. Something I've never yelled at them. I've just revved at them.
I'm a big yeller.
Yeah, I feel like talking to them gets in their head more. Like under D-cell going into corners, I'm just like, yeah, buddy, we're racing. And they're like, what the fuck?
Not too much multitasking for me. I'll be on the ground.
Man, I had some dudes yelling at me in Spanish when I was in Spain. It was comical. I'm like, bruh, I don't even know what you're saying.
You're like, yo quiero Taco Bell. When I was in Italy, it just seemed like you just have to like yell back louder than whatever they're yelling at you at, and then that's how like dominance is established. Just whoever's yelling louder.
Whoever's got the louder voice.
When we went and did Supermoto Nations this year, when we went to do the open practice on Friday, Nicky forgot his band, and so we went to go out on track in the like corner marshal. Didn't see a band, and he's like, no. And Nick tried to just like go anyway. And the guy like grabbed him and like swung him around so hard it just like turned Nick around. And dude had a cigarette in his mouth. The cigarette never fell out, and he just like points back at the pits like yelling something in Italian.
It's like, nope, turn around right now.
So what corners are you marking as like where you want to make the pass? We saw you make the pass that first moto in that last dirt corner, but where were your spots that you were looking that you would attempt to if you did have the ability?
So there's like an off-camber turn that we're gonna come up to the left-hander, and I was going in like extra deep and turning up in so I could get a run down the straightaway. When I got like right on him, and I could get on the throttle quicker than he could right there if I did that. If I ran it in deeper than staying tight,
And then just go deep into this one that you guys are just in.
and I would go deep into that one. And then the first turn in the dirt, he was checking up in this race for some reason after the first double. He's like not gassing it into the berm. He's kind of just like letting it coast. And I was like, man, if I just like shortcut this berm, I definitely could take him out. But like, would I take him out? And like I said, I'm not like a rough rider. I would clean his front wheel out if I did it. And I was like, maybe we could do it in the same spot again, because like he was like check up right there right before the double and not like get aggressive into it. So I was like, all right, I can get speed there. So there's a couple places where I felt I could get him. I was just trying to figure out what was the best place, and not like I said, cut his front wheel off or anything like that.
Yeah.
But in this moto, what got me a little bit is we shortened some of the races. There's a storm coming, and like a big storm coming, and I'm lap counting, but I failed to remember that we shortened the race a little bit. So I'm like, all right, we're on lap 6 or whatever. So that kind of ended up screwing me a little bit, but it was all right. Like, it is what it is. It was my fault because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, and then we got you and Eugene battling it out for the race overall, and then you also got Kinsey and Lacus battling out for the last step on the podium, because Brandon got 4th the first moto and Sam got 3rd. Right now they're switched, so right now it's sitting like Brandon would get the overall, or the last spot on the podium with 3rd. Eugene would get the overall with you in 2nd if it stays how it is.
Yeah. That's funny too. Like, I'll be watching like Sam and them battle like when we cross lanes and they're coming the other way. I'll be like, oh, pass them, you know? I'll be like, go Sam, or whoever's racing. I'm like watching their race too.
I feel like I never really pay attention to what else is going on in the race, but I definitely mark certain people if it's like whoever's in front of me or whoever's just behind me, wherever you can mark it, because we all do pay attention enough to like where you know where the guys around you are. That corner leading onto that back straightaway from this outboard, this camera we're watching now, that does show how off camber that entrance is, huh? That's quite wild. GoPro kind of flattens it out, doesn't let you see that.
Yeah, it's a tricky corner. It gets people.
I bet. And then this double, like, I feel like watching it, why aren't you guys charging into it a little more? But that thing, if you charge into it, that's a kicker, huh? This double you're coming up to?
It definitely would shoot you up, for sure. It was almost so easy that it was like, you could definitely put yourself like over jumping it or come up short just by accident, or you know what I mean, overthink it.
Yeah.
Right, you had to be strategic with it.
Are you on Supermoto valve suspension or are you on Moto valve suspension?
I'm on Moto stuff, just crank tight.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you definitely don't want to overjump that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about having our bikes
in.
super stiff is you can just like flatland the crap out of them. I'm trying.
Almost getting that drive.
He's got a lot of power in that thing. I'm like fighting.
Yeah, he's got a RACEWAY motor in that thing, dude.
Yeah. I'm fighting for everything I got, my little stock girl.
And he's on the
yeah,
newer
that's where
gen.
I wanted to go.
Did you stall it?
Stalled it. Yeah, because
no.
I was lap counting, and when we came around, Fred gave the 2 to go, and I'm like, no, there's 4. And I'm like, well, maybe it's 2. I was like, oh, I gotta go. And this is where like I ended up putting in my fastest lap because I was trying to chase him.
Yeah. No, you guys both
like
ended up putting your
lappers
fastest lap in. That dude was cool. At least he pulled one for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, white flag. What a way to start the last lap with that. Now you got a gap. You were on him the whole time.
Yeah, I saw 2 to go, and I was like, no. And I'm like, well, maybe he messed up. And I'm like, but what he didn't? I was like, I gotta go.
Yep.
And it was like, yeah, I ended up stalling it. So I tried to rush it and pass him in that one corner. And then I was like, I'm gonna T-bone him. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. But I mean, We gotta give it up to Eugene though. He did execute. He did what he needed to do.
Oh
here.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I was putting it down. I was trying so hard to catch him for that like last double turn.
Yeah. And it's crazy. You guys run within less than a tenth of each other this last lap in lap times. Oh, you guys are lapping ugly. Sergio.
Checkered flag.
Dude, Stevie, if you had kept it pinned, you would have had the fastest lap of the race, but you gave it to Eugene because you chopped the throttle there.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just coasting across. I knew. I was like, well, I'm done.
Never give up. Be like Shane. Never give up.
Never give up. Oh, Sam ended up getting Brandon.
Yep.
Very cool.
Very. You guys lapped all the way up to 6th.
Did you guys, that 310 Rodney Vest, did you look at his, did you happen to catch his leather suit?
No.
It was had a print of a Marine's dress suit.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, that's wild.
This is at OVRP, right?
Yeah.
So this is you guys' like local track in a sense, Jay and Stevie?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is about 10 minutes from me.
About an hour and 45 minutes from me.
Okay. What about you, Jake, from New Hampshire? Or are you in Mass or?
Yeah, I'm in Math. I'm like 3.5 hours from there.
Okay.
So this is you guys' round 2. And we have Jake actually racing this one.
Yeah, this is Jake's first race back from a year plus hiatus.
Yeah, Jay decided to get me out of retirement.
Noise.
Yep.
This was also our the first NAS qualifier ever, if I'm not mistaken.
It is correct.
Oh, there's Jakey. We got Shane Naban, the champ back. He missed round 1 due to having like a bagger race or something silly. He should be racing Supermoto, you know?
And baggers.
Do you think Shane likes the baggers because he's sandbagging and just cleaning house out there? Sandbagging on the bagger.
Sandbagging the baggers. I don't know, dude. Those things are pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
It looks like damn good.
Brandon Posh.
Oh yeah, but he like just did practice or something. Like what happened there?
He crashed and then
Packed her up.
packed her up.
Yeah, I think this was his first time back on a bike since I guess he had a pretty bad accident, hurt his back. I think this was his first time coming back, and then he went down, and then I guess that was.
Didn't want to risk it. Yeah.
Not worth it.
Road races. When did you get that flag system, Jay? That's a cool thing that you see at your events, where you have those LED lights that go track wide to show if it's a red flag, if it's a yellow, in whatever section, and they're like bright. They're very noticeable for the riders. It's a real cool system when you're on at your events.
Yeah, it's one element of our program that we really wanted to deploy. We did it first year was this year, 2023, the first race. It was kind of where we started testing them out, making sure that people were gonna like them, enjoy them, and they were super useful. And yeah, for this year, we're adding a few more.
Sick.
They're super helpful.
I agreed. Yeah, and from a promoter standpoint, it also obviously safety. It also allows us to not have the need for so many flaggers, but it helps a flagger at a particular location. They can monitor a little bit further because they have access to the LEDs.
Yeah.
So in theory, how many sections could you potentially have, all from a touch of a button?
On the remote, I can go up to 8, which is why we're getting 8. We currently have 5, and we're going up to 8 for this year.
Yeah.
I think that's plenty.
Yep, and multiple people can have the remotes. We can code things specifically, like, one flag operator can access just a couple. It's a pretty sweet deal.
Jay, do you
It's
ever
one of
have
those-
segment scoring or segment scoring for your time transponders?
We talked about it. It's something that I would like to do at one point, but I think that there's other things that I would like to implement before getting another decoder. But if one of them comes up, I will for sure add it. But it's on my list of things that I would like to implement.
That can be a lot of setup on, especially the ground that some of these tracks cover, I could imagine. And then it's like the timing loop goes up over or through the top of the tower, correct? Or is it laid down on the...
So, depends on the track. Usually it's underground and goes back to the timing tower.
Okay.
This one has a cable so where the start finish line is on this track, it's hardwired all the way back to the tower, but there's also in front of the tower at OVRP there's a loop there where a segment time could be implemented.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely see that being a bit of a logistical nightmare, but it's cool though. It's a cool feature.
Yeah. Get there.
All right, so this race, we're going to watch from round 2 at OVRP in New York. We got SMEC1, it's both pro classes combined. We got the 450s and the open and the 250 class on the same grid stacked.
Oh, jeez.
Got the front row, Shane Narbonne, Jakey, and Andrew Millier.
I'm almost positive his bike stalls like it did in Oklahoma.
Shane's does?
Yeah,
Is this the one where you pull a big old boner?
probably. Yeah, that guy right there.
Got a picture of that too.
Yeah, it's awful. Not my
You guys are pros.
Not my finest work.
TM Power.
Well, I think that was the first time I've ever did a start on that bike. I don't think I've practiced one, nothing. Right.
Whoa. Ooh, stuff's getting squirrely.
Where are we down? There's Andrew Millier.
Yeah.
He's impressive, man.
Yeah, it was cool to see some new blood with him in Supermoto this year. Because like he's definitely I feel like he's stronger on the asphalt than he is in the dirt, but that's not to take away from him in the dirt either. Like he's good in both, and I think he has a background in like GNCC as well as some road racing.
I think he did a lot of GNCC.
Oh man, look at that dust! Holy crap! I've ridden some tracks worse than that, but it's always that adds like a whole nother depth to it when you got the dirt sections like that.
Well, now Steve's actually got a water truck that we got a pretty good system going down.
Okay.
For OVRP,
I think at this race the actual the water truck they had kind of, I think it blew a tire or something.
That always sucks when you can't get enough water in it to keep it together.
Right, it just destroys. I honestly don't remember wearing a GoPro.
I was just thinking the same thing, Jake.
I'm like, wait, I don't remember this. Jay, hey,
Who else are we chasing down shit?
Jay, is this your GoPro?
Yeah, it is. I think I gave it to you.
This is a cool looking track.
It's fun, for sure. Tight, but like I feel like if we had,
What are you shaking your head there for?
I was frustrated. I was in the back. I was buried.
he's eating dust from ugly.
I think he didn't jump the double, and I backed off. And I was like trying to get around him. It was frustrating. I was like, oh man, come on, Sergio, let's go.
There's nowhere to go.
Crap. That was a cool little section there.
Yeah, I like that jump out. I like when you have the jumps out of the dirt too, because it gives you such an impact. It like pops a lot of the dirt off the tire.
Yeah.
Were you feeling like you could hang with Shane here, Jake?
No, not at all. Shango's really good here. And, you know, being on that bike for the first time, it was difficult.
Yeah, it's like
I don't really
like
like
they're uncomfortable. They feel comfortable. It's just like you don't know how far you can push them.
Right, because it's not even close to what the KTM is.
Yeah.
Like, comparison-wise of how far you can lean it and all that.
Yeah, I felt like the amount of traction the front end had was unbelievably more on the TM than I've been used to on my KTMs.
Right.
And stuff. And so that was hard to like realize, oh, I can ask a lot more of this than what I am.
Right, and ask a lot less from the rear.
Yeah.
So it's like you're almost reversing your whole riding style just to...
Yeah, you can... It's like you got to road race it a little more, and you can really like... It's like you can road race it because you can ask that much more of it.
Right.
Dude, you guys are ripping through these corners.
I can't see anything. I was just blind.
That's how it is in Colorado. One of the tracks we do in Pueblo, the dirt up there is like, it doesn't matter really how much unless you spent days watering it beforehand, it's probably still not going to hold together. Grand Junction's the same way. Like Joe and Shane spent so much time that one year we had a national at Grand Junction to get that stuff to kind of hold together. I think there was even some lime put into it.
Yeah, it held together for a couple practices and then it was junk.
It was sweet.
Yeah, it was sweet. Steve, do you like the section better or the asphalt? On any track? Just
any track. Well, this track, I have so many laps that I can ride it blindfolded. But I've always been more a dirt guy, but lately I've focused a lot more on the asphalt because that's where I always waxed, so I've actually gotten pretty decent at like trusting the motorcycle on the asphalt, like leaning it over and getting on the gas sooner. And so I've gotten to like the asphalt more and more the more I ride.
So
Yeah.
the dirt's always better. Just kidding.
Always better.
Well, I mean, you gotta have both. You can't just pick one or the other. You
Yeah,
gotta
no,
have
it's
both.
that's the beauty of Supermoto. Like, there's nothing that beats Supermoto on a race day like this, where everyone's having to, even if the dirt section's blowing apart because like a water truck broke or whatever, and it's dusty, or you're in a rain race and like you don't have a dirt section, whatever it is, like the race day brings that, and you all have to do the same thing. There's nothing like it, and it's different than moto. It's different than off-road and stuff. It's hard to explain, but it has such a cool vibe because you are forced to do multiple different things. Oh no, Jakey.
Oh yeah, it was gargling.
Gargling.
Yeah, it was cutting out. We fixed it.
Too much pepper.
No, I think the quick shifter was loose and it was just rattling, and it was like misfiring.
Interesting. Yeah, so Jakey, you had done your fastest lap the lap before, or no, 2 laps before this, and then it just goes downhill.
Yeah, it goes downhill very fast. Well, I was riding that bike for the first time, so I didn't know what was going on, so I just didn't want to break it. So I was like,
The funny thing is, like, that lap you have a bad lap, it has a direct effect on Shane's race too. He backs off his pace by 2 to 3 seconds a lap after that.
really?
Yeah, he did like 104s consistently until that lap where you pulled off to like tell Jay there was something going on, and then his lap times just dropped to 106s or 107s.
Can finally back off.
And you got Mateo in third pretty much this whole race, but then you got the lights guys. They're up battling up in front of these 450 guys like JC here.
Yeah, Steve kept coming. They were moving up through the 450 class.
Yeah, I don't think I knew where I
Shane
needed
laps
to be.
everyone except for Andrew.
Super Shane.
Slow down. That's what I like to yell at Shane when we're racing. I just like to yell, slow down.
Slow down.
Like, chill out, guy.
It's not a race.
that's what I should start telling. It's not a race, dude.
Dude, it's not a race.
Like while we're in the middle of a race. Dude, this track looks fun because it's got a couple good like deep braking slide corners, but then some really tight technical ones where you really gotta be smart and late apex them correctly to get the speed through them.
I like how you gotta link together that double left.
Yeah, a lot of these are point and shoot turns.
These 2 corners coming up, that's super important that you get your line right. Like, you
This
could lose
corner is fairly
half a
new.
second to it.
They put this in a couple years ago. It used to just turn right before, but now it goes down in big loop. And this dirt section's different now too. We go up along the asphalt and then come back down into the dirt section, so it's longer.
This is where I wish the U.S. wasn't such a huge country to where it would be easier to travel from coast to coast, make it easier to hit these races on this side of the coast. Because looking at the tracks you guys have on the East Coast and everything put together, I'm like, why? I want to race that.
Well, you
Jake's just sitting out here going, yay.
Yeah, I was catching footage for the videos.
This is a cool slide corner.
Yeah, this is a really fun corner to hit.
Mid-race woolies.
Just showing off for the crowd, you know? Steve's ripping.
And
I
Stevie,
wasn't sure
you're
how
like,
far I had to go up. I don't know if there was anybody in front of me or any. I didn't know where I was with the 450 guys.
Yeah, sometimes that's hard to even like remember who's in what class and
yep.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Eugene was just in front of JC, and I just caught JC right here on this turn, right behind them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Eugene had a gap on you most of this race then, huh?
Yeah, I got a terrible start. I was like dead last, and then I kind of had to fuck around in the back for a little while. To, like,
yeah.
clear,
I mean, that was all.
clear air.
You can blame Ugly for that.
It's all good.
Do the double,
Sometimes I
Sergio.
like-
Do the double.
Sometimes I like races like that though, like where you got to go from the back, because I almost ride better.
Me too. I agree. It like takes all the like any of those little things you're sweating. You're just like, oh, doesn't matter now. I can just ride.
Yeah.
that had made the edit, huh?
Yeah, and Stevie, you go a full second faster on your fastest lap than Eugene does this moto. You do a 112.4. Eugene does a 113.4. Eugene had done his on the second lap. You had done yours on the third lap after you got that first time you got clear track.
Yeah. I think I was fast. Like I felt good all day. I qualified like 3 seconds faster or something.
Then Eugene.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, he figured it out come race time though.
Yeah.
It's always nice, like the mornings when you're on like your track and stuff, and in qualifying you can go out and just like set the pace
Instantly.
You're right there.
Yeah, I caught them
JP.
too. JC felt so bad because I was like racing JC.
Yeah, you guys are
I'm
kind of
like-
in separate classes.
Yeah, and I'm like, move over. Look, they're like right there, and I'm like trying to go.
I love it. Oh,
Getting squirrely, JC.
dude, it looked like he G'd out so hard that like the front end tried to slip out.
It's like pixie dust right there where you land.
Oh, I was yelling at JC right there. I was yelling at him. And then he looked over and he saw it was me.
Nice.
Now you're checking out. Like, see ya.
I think that was the finish. Yeah.
You got there. Just too little.
Ran
too
out of
late.
time.
I can't believe the pace that Shane and Jake have, though. Damn, boys, settle
It's
down.
insane.
I mean, I haven't logged as many laps as Shane there, but I've logged my good share.
Yeah,
I used to do a 4-hour endurance race there on 150Fs.
Dude, that sounds fun.
It was a blast.
What, just
PJ
asphalt only, or?
Yeah, PJ Jacobson would put them on. Literally, you would have a team of like 4 riders, and
Was that the stuff that like
hours
Scott
long.
Stump would do too?
Yep, Scott Stump. Shane was riding for Scott Stump. That's how Shane got in contact with like mob racing and stuff.
Okay.
It's through that.
Dude. I couldn't hear shit.
He was telling me he was sorry for not letting me go. I was
Yeah,
yelling
because
at
you guys' battle didn't affect his race. Like, he got up as far as he
Yeah.
could in the 450 class. And I mean, because he was 4th in the 450 class, but he wasn't gonna catch Mateo. He
Yeah,
had
I mean,
too much of
and
a gap.
honestly, like, if someone was behind me ripping too on the last lap, I probably wouldn't look back either to see who it is. I would just keep going.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You
I'd be like,
might, you
fuck
might
off.
get passed. If you look back, you might look over the wrong shoulder and they go by you.
Yeah, it's the misfortune of double grids.
Yeah, but sometimes it's necessary to fit the program in.
Sometimes it's kind of fun.
I like it. I think the guys that are fast, it's just whatever. But then I've had in Colorado, I would like stay on the grid and just let everyone go for 30 seconds. Then me and Timmy V would just like blast through everybody. Had one of the vet guys be like, "Dude, I don't need the kick to my ego when you come flying by me. Just like start the race. Like don't fuck around."
I'm on a different bike.
Oh, yeah, nice number change.
Fred should have just kicked you off, dude.
Well, I was in street clothes 5 minutes before this race.
Damn.
I was like, well, because the other bike was running like crap the first moto, so I was like, I'm not riding it to break it. And then this guy Colin was like, ride my bike, and it was like 5 minutes. Like I think third call had just been called, and I was still in clothes, street clothes.
Yeah, like okay.
So I'm wearing bare minimum clothing underneath my gear.
You got like knee braces on? You get time to get those on now?
I'm trying to remember if I don't think I have no shirt on, so I think I'm wearing just a jersey.
No way, no body armor?
No body armor.
Oh my god. Dude, Dawson Schiffer doesn't wear elbow pads. He says they like fuck with him. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What if you go down on the asphalt, bro?
No, I am wearing. Oh, Dean, I'm already. Look at me.
This guy.
No, Shane's.
Oh yeah, then
Shane's bike died
you
right
blew
there.
it for Shane.
No, his bike did the same thing it did in Oklahoma.
Yeah. I'd get rid of that ECU if I was.
I don't know exactly what it is though, so.
Yeah. Oh, so we got staggered start, so you don't have the same problem second moto as you did the first moto with the 450s, kind of. Or did you guys do a staggered jump the first race? I remember we saw your GoPro into the first corner with everyone, so a little bit different.
Yeah, we
for this
went all
moto.
together with the ducks
Okay.
and a little bit of everything just to break it up a little bit.
Nice. Are you out front now, Jake? Or is it Millie you're still out front?
I am out front.
Jake wasn't wearing one for this moto.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but like you said,
You're in a hurry, yeah.
Per usual.
and I think every time we tried to get Shane to wear a GoPro this year, it either just like got forgotten or something didn't happen.
I always forget. I'm terrible with that stuff.
We got Stevie's GoPro just pointing at the ground.
Sponsored Alpine Star.
Shout out Alpine Stars.
Look it up.
At least you had, a better start where you're on him right away.
Yeah, that definitely helps. Especially here, because like with so many laps, locked just on every inch of the track, I kind of know where to go. Where like, if I could change my line, I know it's like gonna work or not work already.
You know what's trippy is Eugene's fastest lap this moto is his very first lap. Like with the launch. That's kind of wild, huh? But you guys, I mean, since you guys were like gridded back a couple rows from the start. Like you did have some speed as you went through the time, I guess. So maybe that's why the lap times weren't as drastic. Like usually you're a second or two off that first lap.
That's true.
Yeah, Eugene had done. He went like the previous moto. His fastest was a 13.4. This moto, he had a 112.6 the first lap, and then consistent 113s through the first 5 laps of this moto. Ooh, I like that setup, Stevie. That lady Apexer.
It's good for the top of the dirt section right here because you get on the inside and then you can stay tight.
Dude, both motos, JC's stalled in that corner.
Right there, right there.
What do you think about this idea? First practice and first qualifying, you block the main outside line, force an inside line or rut, rut up, and then you open that up for your final qualifying at last. So that inside rut can develop and be an option.
I see what you're saying, but at the same time, it's hard because especially with slicks, it's hard to get a groove going that's like worth something that in that short a time.
Yeah.
Because I'll just end up going to the outside no matter what. Like.
Yeah, you'll just push wide into wherever there aren't tough blocks anymore.
Right.
Blocking the way.
The only time I've seen inside lines that work for Supermoto is when they're literally dug out in pre-made ruts.
Right.
And you run them and get them to harden in and like pack the line.
But the cool
Other
thing
than,
with
like rare
OVRP
occasions.
is the cool thing with OVRP is like Steve has kind of like the option to kind of do whatever he wants. So like I said earlier, we changed this whole entire dirt section midway through the season, so it's completely different now.
That's cool.
We kind of have free reign to do whatever we want.
Eugene's smart enough to block the inside going in there, like still bank off the outside, but block you from going in there.
Yeah, like I said, we raced together so much. Like he knows that I was gonna, that I might put it down in there. So
Yeah.
he just moves over just enough to make me question it. Where I'm like, man, I don't know. All right.
Yeah, and he knows you're not gonna do dirty, so he doesn't have to like do it too hard.
Exactly. Yeah, he knows I'm not gonna just T-bone him. So.
One of these days, you just gotta surprise him, bro.
Y'all are too nice.
Being too nice to him.
Yeah.
I've done it both ways. I always try to take pride in being like a good rider, rides with like good like morals in a sense of like I want to make good passes. I don't want to make passes that are just because of contact and that kind of stuff. But then there's other times where there's really no other way to make a contact, especially when you guys are running the same pace.
Right, like you kind of have to put contact on some people, like especially when we're all racing together in the pro class. Like we're all going the same speed, so
yeah. There's no like late apex and sun different enough to like get up inside someone by
Right,
full,
unless-
like gain a full bike length on someone in our class.
unless you make a complete mistake going into the turn, there's really
Right.
no way of just going around somebody,
I mean, the idea is to show them a will and hope they back off, but Supermoto, you can just kind of cut under. So
Was that Shane that you could hear yell
Yeah.
at Stevie and
He
stand you up?
yelled, and on the straightaway before that, I looked over my shoulder and I knew he was coming. So I was waiting for it.
There's Jakey following through.
grab on to him the best you can.
Jakey, why don't you take out Eugene for him?
Yeah, that's what he did right there.
I tried, dude. I literally, after the race, I go up to Steve and I'm like, Steve, I tried my best. I tried.
I know, but then that's also like, to me, like, I don't know. I wanted to pass him myself a little bit too. I was like, all right, like, let those guys go. we got our own race. Let me beat them fair and square,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
No,
Instead
and
of taking
there's a lot of
advantage
truth to that. Like the feeling you get from like truly making the pass, like setting it up, achieving it. Oh my god. Kevin.
Kevin.
Kevin. Thought you better than that.
Who was that?
Kevin.
Kevin Cotillo.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This is a great battle. Like stuck
Every
in.
race.
Yeah, Jay. This year we're gonna have to split the 250 and 450 classes up because I want to watch this.
Yeah, I'm way too nice when I watch back.
Oh, that's hot.
See, but he does that every lap, and it's like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, he goes 150% every lap, no matter how far out he is.
I don't know how he does it. I don't know how.
Never gives up. Yeah, and Shane dropped into the 103s this moto.
Yeah, he knew I was mad, so he had to go a little bit faster.
Yeah, Jakey, your fastest was a 104.9 on lap 4. But then the rest of it, you get a lot of these hang-ups and stuff, and it seems like your pace gets put into like the 108s like 3 different times.
Yeah, I forget exactly what happened, but oh,
I know. I don't want to. Looking back, man, it's horrible.
It always feels different, dude. Like sometimes you watch it, and I've had times where like I watch the GoPro and I'm like, this dude cross jumped me. I watch it, I'm like, that's not even that bad. And I was all like seeing red in my helmet, you know.
Yeah.
But it's always hard to like know how you, because like especially on a dirt section like that, you got no traction. So like the more offline you go, the more you step to that inside, the chance of you tucking your front there is way higher. So we're not feeling that when we watch it back, you know.
It was getting like really powdery and dry. So I was like, hard to just send it in there and tuck the front. I want to at least have a chance.
there's a lot of pebbles in the bottom of the berms too.
Yeah, one year at State Line, I kept passing dudes in this 180 bull corner like that, and oh yeah, Stevie,
Nice.
that was well executed. That, and you set that up like pretty much the 4
he
corners
runs
leading
away.
up to that.
He's going now.
So Stevie, like, let's back up through that. Like, I feel like you set that up going into those tight switchbacks where you were late apexing more than Eugene. So was this a lap where you were like, all right, I'm gonna execute, and if I got the drive, like, we're going?
Yeah, I kind of like tried it a couple laps in a row, like, and I was like, I think if I just run up just a smidge deeper, I definitely he's not gonna cut in. If I'm there, I'm there. He's not gonna like take me out.
Yeah.
As long as my fender's there, he's gonna like just give me the room enough to me to sneak under him. And that pretty much that pass was set up almost like from here on, like when the lines are chosen from here all the way to the top of that hill differently. Set up better.
Yeah, a little more of a late apex, so you get a better drive off every corner.
Yeah, like here, and then I was going up the hill faster on the throttle to get a better run up the hill.
It was super cool to see, like, I mean, I wish Eugene didn't have that crash he did at round 3.
Yeah,
Poor JC.
I think I'm coming too, yeah.
You almost go with his rep.
Yeah. Well, the berm was like gone after he went through it. I was like, oh boy.
Jake, who did it? Was it you or Shane? Who blew it out?
Probably me.
You know it was one of you hammerheads.
Oh yeah, definitely probably me. Probably trying to slide into it.
Yeah, tracks like this where you have those corners that are like sweeping back and forth, and when you're in a battle, you can really like just late apex a little deeper than the guy in front of you, and set up those drives to where you can link a drive that where you can gain a bike length or two off of a corner, and you do it right, or you kind of chess it out where you show a guy a wheel a corner before that and make them think that you want to run up the inside going into a corner. So then they start running tighter, and then you set it up to where you're late apex and you're going to drive elsewhere, and they're screwing their pace somewhere else.
Yeah, I seem to do like a lot better on the tighter, more technical tracks than like the faster ones like Wisconsin or anything like that. I do terrible at those just because of speed. I get like, once I get over a certain speed, I start getting like a little tight. Whereas
Yeah.
these, like, it's more fun, technical, thinking, like, I like that stuff.
Me too. Check a flag. Stevie with the overall. So round one, it went not in your favor. You won the first one, got second. The second one, this one, you get goes in your favor. You get the second moto, get the overall.
Yeah. Yeah, we were tied for points at the end of this race still.
Perfect. Double red plates.
Yeah.
But
Sandlag
if
is
you look,
back-to-back podiums.
if you look, that entire SMEC 250 class, besides Eugene, was at Naz.
Yep. And Eugene would have been there if he hadn't got hurt.
And the SMEC Pro class, besides one rider too.
That's awesome.
You got any secret plans you want to drop for NAS 2024?
For plans? No, I mean, over the next by mid-March, we're launching a new website, and this next week we're going to publish all the qualifiers, and we're kind of dialing in the final location.
Cool.
So tell us how this came about.
So Smec has been running since 2014 was our first year. We were really into wanting to make a presence at Supermoto of Nations because there had never been a team ever at the Nations for the U.S.
Right.
And we were doing everything we could to make it happen, and we put together. I got to tell you that it was probably one of the most stressful things that I've ever done in Supermoto. It literally. So at the time, when Smec started, it was me and a partner, Marco, who was Italian. So he had some connections over there and things like that. And when we were supposed to go together, and because the team we had signed up with was an Italian team, he ended up, I forget what the problem was, but he had like some issue with his passport or something, so he couldn't go. So I'm there by myself. Don't speak Italian. The team didn't speak any English. It was crazy. It was crazy for sure.
How did did the Aprilias come up through a connection with Matt Stewart, or was that you?
No, it was a connection through my buddy, my partner at the time, Marco, and we were involved with Golden Tire.
Oh, right, yeah, that's right, Golden Tire.
And it came through those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was all of the racers were like Gage, Monty, Johnny, nobody liked those bikes at all. We're tough.
What's up, Simp and Sam? Welcome.
What up, boys?
What's up?
How we doing? Sorry I'm late.
What was interesting though is Gage was doing pretty good, like, you know, for what he had, and I think one of the other stressful things was the team. They wouldn't make any changes to the bikes. Like, you know, they would want to change shocks, or they would want to, you know, the riders would want to, you know, make changes. To that guy, they would want to make changes, but the team wouldn't make anything. Like, they'd make little adjustments, but nothing major, because they were like, you know, this is how the bike needs to be ridden.
Yeah.
Raced the AMA Pro Supermoto series, had some good results, a couple podiums. I got won a race, and then about 2009.
So you guys had Johnny Lewis, Gage McAllister, and who was the other rider?
Monty Frank.
Monty Frank. Oh, okay.
And then Stump was like the backup in case someone got injured.
It was Stump and Brandon Ward.
Yeah.
However, again, being green and not knowing what we were getting into, you know, there was no the concept of backup riders wasn't couldn't put another rider on.
Yeah, we looked at doing backup riders this year when we did it, but it was just like they would have had to fund themselves getting to the race, so that's hard to justify spending the money to get over to Europe when you're not even guaranteed to touch bike.
Yeah. We actually
and you guys kept it clean, so you wouldn't have had to need for it anyway. This year.
This year in 2014 they could have. Monty had a big crash.
Yeah,
like Stump almost got on the bike. Monty muscled through though. Yeah, they had this sweet triple right here. They had a sweet dirt section. This one, the one we did this year at Castelletto, the dirt section sucked.
It was really rocky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this looked like perfect conditions.
Dude, my hands were torn up so bad from that dirt section at Castelletto this year. Where was this venue at, Jay?
I believe it was Viterbo. No, Cremona. Sorry. He did a practice day at Viterbo. And that was another part of it. So part of the whole deal was, like, you know, we would get a weekend of practicing at this one track, you know, for everybody to test the bikes.
Yeah.
It didn't even open the dirt section. It was the whole thing was just so stressful, man. It was crazy.
Almost sounds like nothing good happened. Not good, but nothing good came out of kind of what happened.
Well, I think.
Well, I remember hearing that the Aprilias had like different swing arms and different like steering head angles between them, so they couldn't even make each bike have the same baseline either. So each guy was trying to chase their own tail on like how to get that bike to work when they were all different too.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
And I think we were trying to right before the race, we were trying to grab 3 Hondas, but it was like a $15,000 bill for it, and it was like, yeah,
that's rough. Yeah, I definitely think like that first year you guys going over and not having like the connections, like, I mean, like the connections you have over in Europe now, it'd be a far different look, most likely, you know.
Far different.
And like even now with my connection with Maserati and like the PMA team, and I believe for 24, PMA's already said that they'll field the American team on L30 DMs again. So,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
Know where we're at and what the bike does somewhat. So I think
So it'd be cool to see, like, it'd be interesting to see like who we could get as riders to go this year and what the how we determine them and that kind of stuff. And I think honestly we could America should and will send whoever the best team available is, you know.
Yeah,
Stuff whether that's like LaForge, Narbonne, Reimer, like whatever it turns out to be, Hoffman, McAllister, if they want to do it.
Yeah, but how do you determine something like who makes that decision?
I think it's whoever's willing to do it. Like I think this last year the goal was Hoffman, McAllister, and Reimer, and Gage and Dustin just needed more monetary support to make it happen on their end, and we were behind the eight ball. Everything was super late being done, so it came down to like who was willing to like put their own money into it, and Bronson, myself, and Nikki were all willing to sink our own money into the program.
Would the AMA not have something to say about it in terms of rider selection?
They had to sign off on it, but
I guess it wouldn't really.
I think if you go to the AMA and you say like whoever it is, like the top guys all have enough accolades to where I don't think the AMA can necessarily be like, oh yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like if you're like, oh, we got McAllister, who's a 5-time AMA Supermoto champion, or you got Shane Narbonne, who's this many time Smec champion, and Jake, who's won NAS or whatever it is. Like even Johnny Lewis, if he wanted to like get back on a supermoto bike, you know.
Absolutely. That'd be a sight to see.
And stuff, but like I kind of am of the opinion of we should send the best riders available, not so much of I don't know. I see the argument for both. I see like you could pull from who's doing well in the points in like when I don't even know if AMA is going to have a series this year, to be honest, and stuff. But like last year, I think some of the argument was the AMA has to sign off on it, so we'll take the guys like, and it was pretty much Bronson won a race. Well, it worked out pretty much as it was going in. Like I won a race a couple weeks before, so we all had won races that year, so it was easy to kind of like tick those boxes and say, well, these guys have been winning this year, so they went. But I think honestly, it came down to we were the ones willing to put in our own money to do it.
Right.
And that's not to say like I think Dustin and Gage fully wanted to go. It was just it was harder for them in the positions they're in.
I'd like keep me in the loop on if you know I'd like to get involved.
For sure, that'd be awesome. And I think because like this past year when we did it, the bikes were unbelievably good.
Yeah.
So if we had the unbelievable talents, then I think America could really showcase. I think Nikki's definitely at the top of the talent. Me and Bronson, I think if we're honest, we're both like a tick off. We're good, but we're just below like Shane's level, probably Jake's level. I like to think I'm better than Shane, but Shane typically beats me. Jakey, I'll throw him as a talent above myself. But like Hoffman, McAllister, Jake, and Reimer, I think those are like the top 4 Americans. I'm probably not thinking of someone right now.
I'd be in.
Yeah, I'm down to count me in on whatever we got to do.
And this year it's at Carroll. It's a fast circuit, and just outside of Paris. Dude, I am so jealous of that dirt section. Oh my god!
With all the stress aside, this was quite the experience. I learned a lot. Just the atmosphere. It was, you know, from you being over there competing, you know, with those organizations and you know, you kind of see the difference, right? Because over there,
yeah,
it's Supermoto is a serious sport, right? And everybody takes it serious. So
Yeah, no, the level's real high.
real high.
Exciting.
First practice, about the third lap, maybe of practice, was my first hard lap. Tuck the front.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be so cool to see, because like, it'd just be cool to see. I think it also helps progress it, because like me going over there was such a eye opener. I think I've gotten complacent the last few years, and I've had so many injuries through my career of like my 17 years as a professional. I've been hurt for like way more than half of them. And so like I got complacent, and I think over here that the level was where I could be complacent and still do good and stuff. And then going over there was like, oh my God. And it taught me so much, and it like almost reignited that competitor to me to be like, what are you doing? And like I came back and I was way faster than I was before I went over. So
Right,
I think it'd be cool to have guys like actually push to get over there. It would raise the level over here. We could maybe show, and then us, even just me being over there in Europe, all those guys, there's so much interest from those guys in America too. Like they look
Right.
at us as like being something, which is cool, even though we're not at their level.
I mean, I think our country isn't allowing it to be at that level. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not given the tracks that they're given. We're not trying to do anything. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think with that being said, like we are refiguring. I think with NAS being a thing now, that North American Supermoto Shootout, I think that is the next big step for America to be able to like really highlight our talent and stuff. And because there's not as much support in America, we gotta like acknowledge that and be like, well, there's some really extreme talents that can't afford or don't have the support to go racing a national series. And then because they can't do that, then what's the emphasis for them to go and show up and do it when they're going to be hidden in the results way down the list because they only made it to a race or two? Except where NAS, you can go to a qualifier, whatever your closest qualifier is, qualify for this big event and go showcase it. And I think for most of us racers, doing 2 races a year or having 2 races on the schedule is far more doable than trying to tackle. Because I mean, tackling a national series and driving around the country for multiple races is not easy financially for anybody.
absolutely not.
Yeah, you're gonna go broke just in fuel.
Yeah, exactly. And NAS was cool because it did turn out to be one of the biggest payouts we had all year and stuff. And so I think for me, I had Alberto Maserati with the PMA team ask me the other day, like, hey, what are you doing this year? And like tell me that like they want to be kind of like in the plan for the USA team and like start building that out sooner than we did this previous year and get the ball rolling. And I was like, to be honest, my only real races I'm looking at this year is just NAS, whatever qualifiers I want to hit for NAS. And like there's a bunch of them that I want to hit. I want to hit the one in Colorado because it's local to me. I want to hit the one in California that Brock's doing because Brock's races are awesome. I want to hit Lightning on the Wolf because it's the easiest Smec race for me to hit and it's awesome. And then do NAS. I think those are like the 4 big races I want to hit all year.
I'd like to thank Matt from MXPTV for joining us on this adventure and experiencing.
What about you, Jake? You plan on racing Smec this year, right?
Yeah, so I plan on racing the whole series of Smec and then the NAS championship at the end.
Nice.
That's all I got planned for this year so far. I'll do like local motocross stuff, but
Nice.
Steve, what do you what's your plans?
I'm gonna race the SMEC series all year, and then definitely try to qualify for NAS. It's an awesome event. It's fun. It's nice to see other competition and like see where you stack up. Because you race the same guys all year, so it's like gets the spark like to go out there and wherever it ends up being and race some new talent from all over the country. It's really cool. So meet new people, and it's definitely exciting for me. So I'm ready for that. I'm ready to go. I'm already ready.
Do you do any other type of riding like outside of Supermoto? Do you ride motocross still at all, or?
No, I've kind of. I mean, I refuse to sell my bike, my motocross bike, because I feel like one day I'm gonna go back racing. I'm trying to get Jay out there to get another motocross bike so we go ride Englishtown some more. But other than that, practice day maybe here or there, but no more racing motocross. I got too many other important life things going on to to do that.
Right, but you're still riding motocross though, right? You know.
Oh yeah, I would definitely go ride for sure in a heartbeat on a practice
Well,
day
here's
or
something
whatever.
crazy. So by the end of the race, it was like the last race. We were down 2 bikes. Like the bike that needed to race in the final event, we uh we had to we were gonna swap plastics on it so we could just ride it, but I was like, man, I wasn't sure what the rules were. So, Brock was there, and I ran it by Brock, and I was like, yo, we need to I'm gonna go up to the FIM director who was running it and be like, yo, this is kind of what the position we're in. We want to race this bike. We're gonna swap the plates. And the guy was like, yeah, you guys aren't in a position, so it's no problem. So we went ahead and swapped everything over, and I forget who the rider was at the end. I think maybe it was Gage, but um, yeah, got him a bike for put it all together.
Are you guys thinking about possibly doing Matet?
Hmm. Maybe. I think it's just going to depend on what makes sense as far as the all the people involved, like mechanics wise and travel and what people can afford. Because like that, there's going to be a lot of cost involved with like if you want to do Belgium and then turn around and go do Paris next week. But I think it'd be cool for whoever is on Team America this year to be able to do both if possible. Because like Mate's definitely a bucket list.
You didn't get to race Matet, right?
No. I went and was a tourist in Rome that weekend.
Not a bad deal.
Mm-mm. It was awesome.
Are you gonna do Matet, Jay?
I would like to, yeah. Man, I had such a rad time last
Super
year.
biker.
Dude, it'd be so cool. Just like, I mean, stressful to go through the qualifying process, but oh my God.
Yeah, see, I do the vet class. They have it's called the seniors class.
Uh-huh.
And there's a limit, 52. That's it. Once you're in, you're in. You don't get as much ride time. It's basically like you get like 1 or 2 qualifying. I can't remember what the format was, but I think it was 2 qualifyings and then you race. Both days. So yeah, it was pretty rad.
Hey, Sempi, go ahead and pull up RACEWAY's website so we can see the schedule for this year. All right, so we're coming up in just a couple months with Smec firing off VIR again.
Yep. Great facility. I mean, you guys should, if you guys can work it out, you guys should make it out.
Dude, yeah.
Great facility, great people. Always a blast. Always a blast.
Jay, is there anything else going on that weekend?
I don't believe so. There may be like a road racing practice day or something like that on the big track, but yeah, normally, so like historically for the last, I want to say, except for last year, we would always do it with Moto America.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a cool way to do it.
Yeah, we would always do it with Moto America. We had a good relationship with them. We run our race. They run, obviously they're the bigger show over there, and it was pretty cool to have, some of the riders from the paddock area over there come down to check it out. Spectators, it's pretty rad. But unfortunately, they're not going to be running at VIR, at least not for this year or probably next year. So we did do it one year with. They have this huge drift event, and it was crazy. Those drifter dudes are pretty nuts.
I think that was the first year I've been there. Was that year? They had like hog races out in the middle of the field, lawnmower races.
No way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was insane.
That's awesome. Dude, one of the first years I was pro in like 2008, the first round of AMA Supermoto was in Washington, in like Eugene, Washington, I think. Somewhere up there in Washington. And there was like a track that had a big oval car track on the outside and then like a inner oval and like a dirt section and like some stuff linking the two different size ovals together, make more of a road course out of it.
Oh, cool.
And the night before they had like some like kind of NASCAR roundy round type stuff. And they had a school bus that they like jumped off this ramp that they pulled out onto the front straightaway, and the like thing ended up like yard sailing itself and just causing this huge mess.
Shrapnel everywhere.
Yeah.
Don't crash there.
Mm-mm.
What's round 2?
OVRP
Valley
then?
Race Park.
Okay, cool.
Oh, who's
End of the
that
month.
guy?
Yeah, who is that guy?
That's Jumpin' Jake. So Lightning on the Wolf is earlier this year. It's in June, huh?
Yeah. Yep. It is. We tried to get a later date, but they booked up pretty quickly. So this is really the only weekend that we could do. That was 3 days. Normally for that event, as you know, we do like a Friday practice day, and then the event would be 2 days.
Right. Yeah, no, it's so cool how you guys have kept that like long-standing tradition of the Lightning on the Wolf event going now. That's like, I mean, I guess now that State Line's gone, Lightning on the Wolf is probably one of the longest standing, like going on. 2012 was the first year, so this year will be like the 12th annual.
Oh.
And then that's been a staple on your circuit for every year of SMEC, hasn't it? Or was there a couple years where you guys didn't go out to?
No, I think every year we've been there. Yeah, it's ingrained into our program for sure.
Nice. I remember back to like the origins of like the RSR team that I've ridden for so many years. That was how Joe met Stumpy. It was like the first year you put on a race at Shawano. Joe went out there and met Eric.
Oh jeez.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. Last I know, he did some jail time, and then he was homeless in California for a minute, and I'm not sure. I know he went into rehab of his own accord, not just a court-ordered rehab and stuff. So last I heard, he was out and like trying to get his life in order. So I hope that's still the case, but I haven't been able to talk to him.
Oh.
But yeah, Stumpy, like
Yeah,
he was a talent, man. But man,
he was fun to watch ride, man. I seen him do some crazy stuff, and it was like blew my mind.
yeah, he always called me dad, like on the team and stuff. And he called my wife mom. It pissed her off so bad. But then after like a year or two, she's just like, "What's up, son? Yeah, you my son."
My son.
Is this the right
It's wild
Instagram?
how some of us racers just find the wrong path sometimes.
Yeah, it's tough.
But I mean, you were a big. I feel like looking back, you were a big part in bringing Stumpy like into the supermoto scene. Like, because he was one of the heavy hitters for quite a few years, you know. Stuff,
Yeah.
but like the first I saw him was he was like this big name and this guy at the top of the charts on the Smec races, you know.
Yep. We were introduced to him through at our first year or two. We had a good sponsor, really good people, and I guess they were sponsoring him for road racing. He was road racing. Maybe it wasn't Moto America at the time, but
Yeah, whatever.
so
Like if it was,
yeah,
yeah, I can't remember exactly what they were calling it because it wasn't like
yeah,
AMA Superbike anymore or whatever it was.
right. Right. So yeah, and they kind of hooked us up there. I had a spare CRF that was set up, kind of gave him a ride, and yeah, it's kind of worked out where he was extremely talented on the bike. I know his dad was supportive of him and kind of maintained the bike, which was kind of good for me. I kind of let them have it, and give him an opportunity to ride because that's one of the things that I personally, I mean, and this is the same. It's the same thing that that Fred believes, which is why we're such a good a good pairing for this is because we want Supermoto to succeed. We know it needs to be bigger. We are driving and doing everything that we can to make it as big as we think it needs to be. We want it to be a viable racing discipline for people to get into, but we also want the riders to succeed, right? We want
Yeah,
the riders to to progress and enjoy themselves and become bigger.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like be able to like have success at the races and make it easier for them to go racing or justify going racing and spending the money to because like in Europe it's like the levels higher also because like the bikes have elevated and stuff and for us to put that type of effort in it's hard unless there is those resources to grow with and stuff and that's one of the cool things when you see your series is there's like whether it's like of course like you can't like or for the most part you can't pay amateurs because then it like promotes sandbagging but like you're good about even in the classes there's whether it's like sponsor rewards like or like stuff that they've given you to like give out to those podium guys or it's vouchers discount codes whatever it is like there's stuff to be gained from racing any of the classes that you put on. And I think that's pretty cool because usually you only see like a payout in the pro class, which is awesome. I do think the pros should be paid out, but like it's cool to see that the amateurs still get stuff at your races.
Yeah, I mean, and that's again, that's kind of like the program, right? Like we want everybody to have a good time. We want even at the amateur level, we want some type of return, that they're working for besides just a trophy.
Yep. I mean, trophies are cool, but
I mean, discount codes are better than trophies, I think.
but then
Just
Jake over
about
here,
cheap, you know?
Jake got a diamond ring. Winning NAS this year. He's got like that Super Bowl ring.
Got that thing floating, baby.
Fancy.
Yep.
That's
unbelievably
probably
excited
like
for
one of the
NAS.
most unique trophies I've ever seen. That's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, how'd you come up with that idea, Jay?
Crickets. Might have lost Jay for a second.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep,
Now we can.
they are.
Now we can.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was like, because it. I don't think it's never been done before for Supermoto. I saw. Yeah, I wanted something unique and that something that hasn't been done before. And what's kind of cool is that because it's the first year, it has each ring. It's only for the pro open, pro light class. There's a one diamond that signifies the inaugural year, and this year there'll be two, and it will progressively grow until we have a Super Bowl style big diamond ring.
That's rad.
Should be reversed.
Jake just wants it to be like, I'm the first, I'm the best.
No more rings.
Well, that's cool. Now, like, I can go after a ring this year, and I can hope that I get the 2 diamonds and be like, haha, Jake, I got a diamond than you do.
He.
Do you have any? Do you want to talk about any possible locations, possible tentative locations that NAS could potentially be at this year?
Or is it too early to?
I mean, it's a little early. I would like to, obviously Oklahoma going back with better weather conditions. What I can tell you is that we've learned from the time of the month, right? Going to Oklahoma at the end of October is not really didn't really work out for us. So we're moving it up. So it will be either the second to last or the last weekend in September, right? So we're going to move it up a little bit. So targeting a little bit better weather because we don't want to be in that position again if we can't. Obviously, it's Mother Nature and we can't do much about that. But if we're going to try to do it strategically to kind of give us the best opportunity to have a good event. If it's not Oklahoma, it will be somewhere that there's probably going to be a little bit better weather.
All right. Yeah, I mean, like I would love redemption at Oklahoma too, just because that track was bitching. But I think wherever it is, just what NAS is going to be epic no matter what.
Yeah, I hope so. It's I mean, for NAS, we've been like, it's been on the books. Like we started talking about this in 2016 is when I kind of started getting everything together, domain names and things like that.
Okay, wow. So the Genesis was quite a while ago then. That's awesome.
Yeah. But because
pull up NAS on Facebook.
Because we knew the commitment that it was going to take to put it on, that kind of like what we were chatting about before is like, I don't like to announce or publish anything unless I'm committed, we're committed, and it's going to happen. Yeah, no. Right. I don't want to, far too many times I've seen people, say they're going to do this or do that, and then they don't do it. You know what I mean? And
right.
Because of that, it drives me and Smec and Fred, Ducky, Nas, and everything that we want to see Supermoto grow, and it's time.
Yeah, no, and it's cool, like you said, with Smec pouring into it, Supermoto USA pouring into it, and Cascadia pouring into it, and Supermoto Colorado pouring into it, and whatever clubs nationally and Quebec Supermoto and stuff, like they're all utilizing it. Pushes people to utilize their local clubs, which I think is cool because those local clubs have to exist, or and then it's also Smec's also involved. So you have national clubs and series alongside it too. So like you got it from all, like NAS can pull from all Supermoto in the Americas and then bring everyone together for this big shootout, you know? And that's what I think is so cool about it, because it's not just like, hey, come race ours and pull people away from supporting the local ones. It's like, no, you still you get to highlight and more people get to put eyeballs on these cool events and these cool qualifiers. And I think it only will help build those clubs and also build NAS. So I think it helps Supermoto grow overall, where I think you've seen like in the past, AMA Supermoto has like pulled people away from supporting, and it's like hurt Supermoto in general with the way it's been run. So I think this is a new movement to like really help grow the grassroots of the sport, which is awesome.
Right, and we partnering with Colorado Supermoto, Cascadia, Supermoto USA, Supermoto Quebec, like, you know, these were all face-to-face conversations that, you know, I had with these groups to make sure that everybody is on the same page in the direction that we feel Supermoto, like the direction of how we would want Supermoto to grow, and everybody was on the same page. This is why we're coming together and making NAS, you know, what it is. But to your point, yeah, we want the promoters who are involved in NAS to become bigger themselves, right? Because you might have a, you know, somebody it may not normally travel to, say, Colorado, who's in Arizona or you know New
Oklahoma.
Mexico, even Oklahoma, right? Like they may not have any interest in going there, but now because they want to race NAS, they're going to go to Colorado because it's, you know, it's only, you know, just a few more extra hours for them to go, and then that's going to help drive Colorado Supermoto more riders on their grids, make their events bigger. It's going to just help them grow their program, and the same for all the others.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like that, I feel like I've just been flapping my mouth about it all of last year and this year, but I'm really excited that this was brought forward, and this is what we get to have in America. I look forward to like becoming the new tradition of like, that is the big event every year that everyone's like, yeah, like that's on my calendar. Like whenever it is, like I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna go there and stuff. And so I think that's really cool.
And you know, we appreciate all the riders like you, and you know everybody on the thing here, that, you know, we do it for the riders. Like in the end, it's for the riders, it's for the sport. There's nothing else. It's, you know, if the riders are not having a good time, they don't want it to grow, then, you know, this one wouldn't exist. But you know, we do it for the riders, we do it for Supermoto. It's the love of the sport.
And I think that's another good point there, is it's like, it's for everyone too. It's not just like a pro thing. It's not just the one to find out who the fastest guy in North America is. Like it is that, but it's also for the kids. It's also for the vet guys. It's also for the amateurs. It's for the guys that are just getting into Supermoto. It's for everyone. Like it has classes to suit any and all riders, you know?
It's also for like people to like meet up new people. Like I've met people at NAS that I've never even seen before or never even knew about. So like that would, like, not saying, but it would like make me want to go race them in their own series to see what it's all about, or make new friends, and you can go travel to other places and, you know, ride with your friends and stuff. So it's a good way to meet new people too. And
yeah, and that's like, because Supermoto's such a unique sport because it combines all of it, but then in a level that like Steve was talking about earlier when we were watching the races, like motocross is so brutal on you, where Supermoto doesn't have that same brutality on you. And it's awesome because you get to like deck out your bikes. It's like to me, it's like the perfect vet class thing, but it's also the perfect sport in general. Like it's the best facet of motorcycling I've ever ridden. When you talk to a lot of guys that have done it, whether they're road racers or motocrossers, they have so much fun with Supermoto, and that's the beauty behind Supermoto. It's fucking epic and stuff, but like it's so cool for everyone. I wish we could pull more guys that like more of the motocrossers that don't. And I think this is something that can pull those guys. So the guys that are like, well, that looks cool. And so it's like, yeah, it is cool. Just like get wheels for your bike. Come check out this event. And they guarantee they do it once, they're going to be hooked, you know?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, no, for sure. And from my side, I think it's important for riders themselves to also, like you were just saying, help the sport grow by trying convincing, twisting people's arms, whatever. Get those motocross dudes, your friends, your buddies, or whatever. Try it once because they're gonna be hooked.
Yeah. And like Steve and Jake, you guys can probably back me up on this, coming from, you guys both come from more motocross type backgrounds. Supermoto is the most like of a family type vibe and stuff where we're all homies for the most part. Like I've never seen another form of racing where everyone's is cool and family oriented. Like it feels like you're with your family, like in the family that you chose. Like if you were, because sometimes families can be like, that can be a challenge, but like this is the family that you would choose to hang out with and just enjoy it. It's awesome. Like there's no other group of racers I've ever been around like the Supermoto family.
Right, like they're not backstabbers, essentially. Like motocross people, they can be friendly,
so
but at the
cutthroat.
same time they're just so cutthroat that it's like I would do anything. So, but Supermoto guys, I mean, we all hang out, we all talk about what we're doing, we kind of don't hold secrets.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's to our own detriment, but
Yeah, but we're boys, dude.
And like that wheel tap I figured out in Sturgis that one year you built the dirt section, I should have kept my mouth shut about it.
No, exactly. You're so excited to tell the boys you wheel tapped that.
Everyone's like, yeah, that's mint, dude.
You're like, yeah, that was sick. Let me try it. But that's also what made it fun too, is that like we're all at the same, not all the same level, but like close enough where we could all pick each other's brains and like use each other to go
like
faster.
And because it's less physical, it's like I kind of refer to it as a slacker sport, and I mean it in like the most like almost giving it praise by calling it a slacker sport, because you can you can stay up late just bench racing with your buddies and like go and not be just totally fried. Like if you're gonna go race like 3 hours in the wood and you stayed up all night the night before bullshit with your buddies you're racing with, like it's probably not the best thing, but Supermoto you can get away with that.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, speak for yourself. Tucson
Okay.
is brutal.
Professional.
Okay, well, we know Shitty Shane's getting in bed at 8 o'clock, but like I'm staying up drinking beers with the boys.
I'm the one in bed at 8 o'clock.
What would you guys like to see from? Is there like? So you guys have raced, pretty much all the organizations out there. Is there something that you guys would like to see as racers that would, you haven't seen before? You would like incorporated into a program?
Man, hitting us with the deep questions.
I don't know about if I've never seen before, but like doing stuff with other events I think is a cool idea, like VIR with Moto America type things where you're...
It's a vibe. That's probably a logistical nightmare for the organizers, but...
Right, exactly, but that's what's... You gotta bring people in and stuff, I feel, so...
I would say, like, from just a pure, like, racer's perspective, as far as the ability to, like, continue racing, and I think maybe you could shed some light on this, is contingency is far different than what it was, say, in the 2000s and stuff. And then maybe it's because of social media nowadays, like companies can put a little bit of money here and get a much broader reach and stuff. But I felt like when I first turned pro, it was real easy to go to your local events and support them because like you knew you could. It was like almost like a cash grab because I could go do a couple events locally. Boom, enough tire contingency to buy a set of tires to go to the national where I was going to get my ass kicked and not earn the contingency for a set of tires. But like, so you had, but then like the contingencies in the pro stuff back in the day were also a lot bigger too, where like I remember just being top 10 in the lights class and getting a couple $100 from Yamaha and stuff. So like, I'm not sure if the manufacturer, just contingency in general seems to me like even when you look at the top guys like Supercross, the contingencies are down from what they were 10 years ago. So I'm not sure if that's something that can be, and I know you do have contingencies with manufacturers and tire guys and that kind of stuff. So you are one of the clubs doing that. So is that just different? Is it less now for any reasons that you can tell?
I mean, other than, just the economy, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's hitting everywhere.
True.
But I think, I don't know, but I think that, if we continue to grow our discipline, continue to grow our sport, show the manufacturers that, it's viable, that they'll start incrementally increasing, or I'm going to push and press to see if we can, more contingency dollars for the events.
I don't know how we could make it happen, but I'd almost like to see like an industry type thing where maybe like at something like a NAS. I think I was talking to Rob Wiggins the other day, and he had talked about something similar to this, but it was like where you would say I don't know how we could do it because it would take a lot of things to come together, right, to make it happen. But like whether it's sponsors that support NAS already, but like having guys from those companies themselves like come out and ride, and it's just like almost guys that like the prerequisite is they haven't raced Supermoto before and they're like sponsored and do like this industry class and get like them to cover and talk about it and different stuff. It'd almost be cool to see. Like, I don't know how. I'd like to see little ways we could bring people in from the outside because it is hard. Like, I feel like when you do finally get someone to try Supermoto, it's like pretty much like they're instantly hooked. Like Johnny and Ryan, I feel like I've discipled them into Supermoto.
Nice play on words, Butters. Moto Jesus over here.
Not that cool.
You asked Jay what I want to see. This is my perfect NAS. It's a triple crown. You qualify for Moto 1, Moto 2's inverted, and then Moto 3's based on Moto 2.
What? Yeah. I mean, the racer in me does not like that. The spectator in me loves that.
Well, I'm not racing that class.
Like, you win the first moto and you get last on the gate. Like, where's the emphasis to win the first moto? Does it like pay you extra points? Like, I wonder how we're gonna. I mean, I guess we have to break it down. Maybe there's something there.
You still have to get the points.
Yeah.
So first moto, you clear some points and know you can cut to the field to get to third.
Yeah.
You're just thinking about your final moto, and the final moto could be, a tiebreaker or something. I don't know, but you do the math and see what makes sense.
God, I'd shit myself if I qualified last, though. Moto 2, everybody's just behind you.
Yeah, like you DNF the race and you're just on pole.
That is kind of cool.
The racer in me, I was never a fan of like the inverted poles. I'd have to think about that. Sure.
I think if you're like one of the guys that's like getting lapped, I don't think you're stoked on being on the front row either. You're like, I got these bloodhounds behind me, bro. They're gonna fucking sweep my tire going in turn 1.
Well, right. So
you got Jake LaForge out there just being an assassin with the clutch.
It's very true that there's a pretty decent gap in the field. If they were tighter, then that probably would make a
Yeah.
little more sense.
And from my perspective, kind of in line with that, right? Go to, I was doing a race in Spain. It was the, Albaida was the track, and it was
That track. Oh yeah.
I was
Played
doing
it on video
Spanish-
games.
I was doing the Spanish Championship, and plus it was the same weekend that the S1GP was there, right? So it was the first race of the season. I go there, get off the plane, Friday morning. I land, I drive to the track, I get suited up, get ready to go out for practice. I go out there. It's every single heavy hitter out there doing practice, right? And I'm like, I'm not going out there right now. I'm gonna get murdered. So I waited to the next practice session. I was like, I'm gonna be the first fucker out there. That way they know I'm out there and they can go around me, because I wouldn't want to just jump out into that shark
Pool of sharks.
shark infested water. Yeah, man. but yeah, like, if you put me on the front of the grid and all of them were behind you because the grid was inverted, I was like,
I still like it.
but it would be entertaining for sure to watch.
The AMA tried to do the inverted start thing, and it didn't.
Yeah, they did the top 6 inverted.
Yeah.
That's like the row and a half got screwed. It helped me out a bunch of times.
I mean, Shane went off the track and stirred it.
Dude, I remember Hoffman and Gage that year they did that. They would intentionally just they'd do a heater and then just choke the last corner and coast across the line and try to drop a couple seconds off to where they'd be far enough back. They'd still be 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And still get thrown on 5th and 6th.
It would just be 3 seconds faster, not 5. You'd always be like, how did he gain 3 seconds a lap? Whatever, a second and a half a lap in the main
qualifying. Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, so I think it's tricky to do races like that because you always end up getting guys trying to pull some funny business or something.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
First moto still counts for points,
I feel like you're doing a lot to create new avenues for us, Jay. So it's hard to come up with what else you could do on top of that stuff. But I think as it grows, I'm sure stuff's gonna keep evolving. Stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's not, I want to be consistent but fluid, right? We want to make improvements where there could be. So we'll listen to any suggestion. What I've learned probably after the first year is that you cannot make everybody happy. But
yeah.
But as we're not afraid to try new things, but as long as they make sense, so we just kind of want to be open and be successful. Have all of the riders be successful and have Supermoto be successful. That is the end game, is having Supermoto be on top.
Amen, brother.
It would be cool to get a soft ticket and throw us in front of a fair or a festival or kind of give us a little bit of, I don't know, fan anticipation.
Yeah, so I'll be perfectly honest with you for that. It's so for me, that stuff's cool for the riders. It gets you in front of people, right? Because that's what we all really like, is we like riding and racing and showing our discipline in front of spectators. But we also want to grow the sport. And if you're, while I don't want to say it's not possible, but we want to get the right spectators. Right?
Yeah.
To get the right people who are going to watch the sport, get interested, and get into it and help it
But also, you got to think that one of those people might be at that fair.
That's true. That's true. 100%. That's true. And I was going to follow up with that as well. It's,
Yeah.
one person at a time. That's what it takes. And
Yeah, and I think it's something that you might have told me you had tried to do. I mean, it'd be epic if we could get a parking lot supermoto at a supercross, like right next to the pits, you know.
yeah,
And stuff. Like that would be huge because then that could have the ability to capture like the vet riders that are spending $6,000 to put a kit on their bike that don't need it. Like they're the guys that can like build out a supermoto and come have a good time because they don't got enough fitness to like hold on to a motocross track without getting arm pumps. So supermoto is a perfect fit for them. Like that's the market we need to capture.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we actually did a presentation with them as well. At the time, they were interested, but it certainly could be something that's revisited as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, hopefully, like, I feel like
right
Feld's
now-
starting to open up to stuff, so maybe, I think a couple years ago, they were definitely very, like, enclosed-minded with stuff, but maybe.
But right now, NAS is where it's at.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I think this year we'll see more participation in it. I think more people are excited for it and stuff. So I definitely think that's what we're all looking forward to this year. But
Sure.
all right. Well, with that, was there anything else we missed out on covering?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, I really appreciate your time tonight, Jay and Stevie and Jake.
Yeah,
Thanks,
for sure.
boys.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was
Thank you for
awesome.
having us on.
Definitely. We look forward to being able to hopefully show up to more of your races and be there to race it ourselves and to cover it and stuff. I think that'd be awesome this next year.
Yeah, definitely. Hope to see you out there for sure. And definitely keep me in the loop on the nations thing. I'd like to be a part of that as well.
Yeah, for sure.